All right. Hello, friends, family members, and fans, if we have any. I'll take any of the three above. I hope y'all are doing super well this week. Haley and I are here giving your weekly dose of the Midwest Sesh podcast. This is episode 11, and we are here to chat all things manners in the weed etiquette department. So I don't know about you, Haley, but I'm super excited to dig into it this week.
Me too. And I have a lot of thoughts. I'm sure you have a lot of thoughts as well.
Oh, I've got thoughts.
Yeah. Nina is, I like what I like about you is that we've never met, but I know that just our shared stoner culture, if we did meet, we would have the same like stoner rules, like stoner etiquette. So for people that are kind of new to stoner space, I feel like that's like an important thing to talk about, like what to do and what not to do.
Yes. A lot of people fumble in that department when they start getting into the cannabis scene, I guess, the cannabis community.
There we go.
Yeah. And I think like a lot of people that might deter a lot of people from trying cannabis or enjoying cannabis with other people because they're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I look like a noob. I'm fumbling. I'm doing this, yada yada. So we're just here to give you a little pep talk, a little few tips and tricks on how not to be a big bogey at your next sesh with your friends.
This is what I'm talking about, Nina. I knew you'd understand. So
yeah,
for people that are new, we got you. We'll get you schooled up, message us, but there's just some basic things, that everyone agrees on. Yeah.
What are you lighting up over there?
I am lighting up this situation. It is a CBG joint. Have you heard of that?
Oh, okay, yeah. I've heard of CBG. So
CBG, apparently some people claim it's really good for focus, like instead of coffee. So
I've heard of that.
I'm gonna give it a little spark.
I feel like CBG, the one thing I noticed when I smoked CBG flower was that it really had my appetite roaring, which sometimes I don't need because like the munchies get super real around here. Like on my table right now, I have like multiple snacks. I got the trolleys. I got a bevy from a couple nights ago, probably. I got Gardettos. I got everything. So I feel like I've been shying away from the CBG, but I'm curious to see what you think about the focus aspect of it. Because I've had a few people ask me about it, and I'm like, all I noticed is that I was really hungry.
I'll let you know. Eating. Yeah. I will definitely let you know. This one is by the company Dad Grass, but this is their mom edition, Mom Grass. So check them out.
Okay.
Yeah. Dadgrass.com. But they sell it to anywhere in the United States. So it's kind of a great option for people that live in a non-weed state. Like at least you could order this, and then there's joints in here. I don't know. I was just like pumped to try it. So
that's I like that it kind of looks like I'm a former cigarette smoker, so it kind of looks like a cigarette pack, and I feel like that is kind of where the CBD pre-rolls and the CBG pre-rolls and all of that jazz are kind of moving into that space. I've noticed, which
it made me so happy,
excited. It's nice, like get people off the nicotine, get them into the grass.
Exactly. I mean, the price point's not the same obviously as a cigarette, but it did come in a cellophane wrap style, like literally just like a pack of cigarettes. So I was like, wow, good for them making that.
The like muscle memory is too real. When I cracked open something similar, I was like, ooh,
you almost start dangerous. Like packing the container and like tapping it like a cigarette. You're like, hey, I don't need to do that. Like,
that's too funny. I gotta ask you. Oh, what am I smoking? I'm smoking on some surprise legal weed for the first time in a while. I had the pleasure of visiting Hatch Dispensary in Wheeling, Illinois. So I picked up some Tropical Sunrise, which I've never seen before.
Tropical Sunrise?
Yeah, the name. And I'm like such a sucker for the can. Like, I don't know why, but this packaging gets me every time I
it's so good.
Think about this brand, and I'm like, I just like when I crack open, it's like,
is it like the cat food style like can? Like it's sealed with nitrogen. That's a great brand.
Yeah. I like it a lot. I haven't noticed anything too crazy about this strain. Specifically for me, just a good hybrid daytime.
Yeah.
Chilling, hanging out.
That's awesome.
Just like we're doing right now.
I'm making a makeshift ashtray real quick. Hold up.
I've been there.
Yeah, I'm all set. All right, good to go.
Love it. Well, I gotta ask you, what is your biggest pet peeve when you're smoking with others, or newbies, or people you haven't smoked before? Let it rip. I want to know.
Let it rip. Okay.
Yeah.
It's so hard to pick, especially now with COVID. There's an extra layer to everything.
Yeah, right.
Like social, like that's the thing. I'm trying to navigate all the social etiquette of re-entry into society and what that is.
Yeah.
So it goes with like smoking, but and like sharing cannabis with people. But okay, my biggest pet peeve is probably people that have a really sad and or gross story that to tell when they're like stoned. They're like, let me tell you this. And it's like, I don't know. I don't enjoy like sad shit.
Yeah.
when I'm stoned.
Dude, that is totally like, I feel that. Don't come to the sesh. Don't come to the circle with your complaints. I mean, we could air it out. If it's a bitch, I could always call it a bish sesh. If like we're going to smoke and chat and bitch and just like,
it's fine if I know that ahead of time.
If I'm coming into knowing that. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
But
glad
like,
you get that.
Drop in your like, sad stories, your hard week, your whatever onto whoever you're smoking with is tough. It's tough.
Yeah. Or like if you get a little too existential, like I feel like a newbie problem is like, I'm thinking of a few times when I've smoked with a brand new person and then they'll sit back and just have like a really intense, sad thought. Like, do you ever think about how we should try to fix world hunger more?
And you're like, dude, absolutely not right now. Cause I'm grooving like chilling.
Exactly. So that's my biggest pet peeve is like, don't bring me out of a good vibe, like with unnecessary sadness. Like there's a time and place. So I don't know. It's like a kind of mean thing to say, but
no, dude, protect your sesh circle, right? Like it's a group. You're bringing people in to your space. You're entering their space. So you gotta be, I mean, that's what it's all about. Being, considerate of other people.
Being familial. It's like when I want to hear a really sad story or, whatever. It's like, no, I wouldn't. No. Let's just keep it chill and have a good time. So what about you? That's my instinct for my biggest one.
For me, I feel like it might be more like tactical, I guess, because I have like, I've always been the one with weed.
Yes.
Like I've always been the friend with weed. Never had a dry stash. Like I will not go dry. Even when I did go dry, I was like, like we got to get on this. You know what I mean? Like it was a shock. So I think just like being considerate of contributing.
Yes.
When you're constantly smoking with somebody, or people like to call it matching. You bring some, I'll bring some. We meet in the middle. We'll roll the blunt. Kind of thing, or like. I picked the first bowl, you picked the second bowl, back and forth kind of thing. I feel like this experience, cannabis as a whole, is all about sharing. And so when it's one-sided, it gets shitty, Like I don't want to always have to be the sesh mama. Like bring some goods. We're here together, I feel like that's a very Midwestern thing. You don't show up to a party empty-handed. You don't show up to a party without a couple of bottles of pop, couple of bags of chips, bake something, cupcakes. Like
same thing.
I don't think I've ever shown up to a party without something in my hand to share. And I feel like that's just something that I look for when people come over. Or it depends. If I'm like, come over, I'll smoke you out, I got you, we're trying this, whatever, good. If it's like we're hanging out every day and you're not we're like ripping through my half ounce or something, and I haven't seen you sprinkle any green in the pot, I'm like,
hey now. Yeah. You're that. So that saying is like, a friend with weed is a friend indeed. Mm-hmm. You are that friend, Nina. That is, I know. And nobody wants to feel like that's the reason someone's friends with them. And I feel like it can get to be that energy quick where you're like, are you just coming over here because this is a free smoke sesh for you? Or are you like actually my friend? So yeah, it's important. And also another thing I thought about, like, say you're brand new to weed and you're like showing up to a friend's house and you're going to smoke a little bit or whatever. It's always a good move if you don't have weed to at least like Venmo them like a little bit, like, or right? Offer. It's like, hey, it's just, or offer to like, later next time, like, hey, next time I'll bring some, but like Venmo always works. I know that sounds like cold or whatever, but it's like, hey, if I have a friend, like if I'm going to your house and I don't have any weed, I haven't been to the store, I don't have anything, it's at least nice to send you like $10 for splitting a joint with me or something, You
want to know what I say when somebody says I'll Venmo you? I say, I don't want your fucking money. Like I want your company. I don't want your money, but you offered, so like that. Woo, that in itself is enough for me, right?
Considerate.
Like
Yeah.
just being considerate. Like, I don't want your money. I don't want your money. Keep it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's fine. Like, we're here to smoke.
You're so
We're here to
sweet.
chill. I always smoke way more than everybody else anyway. Like, all my friends are those one hit wonders. So I'm like, I
Bless
don't
them.
want
Yep.
your freaking $10 for your 2 puffs off the joint. Like, it's fine. Like,
Right. There's
you
a
know,
balance. You don't need to like overthink
balance
it,
for sure.
but you know, just consider if a last resort, that could be a nice thing. Yeah, that's a good one. I feel that energy where you probably showed up a lot to parties and had to contribute a lot. So yeah.
I think it was
Actually,
definitely a bigger problem when I was younger, like, and in
yes.
college and stuff too.
The
Like, I was
pinch and
one of the
pennies,
only,
like
yeah, I was the only one of my friends who had a job in high school and in college. So it was just like, you know, like I said, I always had the stash, so people were always smoking my weed. But like, now that I feel like I'm a little bit older, I haven't really run into that issue. A lot of people are like, I'll Venmo you, or I got your
yeah.
food, or, you know,
Yeah,
stuff like that. I feel like people, it's mature. People have matured, you know? I don't know.
Yes. Like, we're all adults here.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
I was trying to think something you said. Actually, I wrote down a list, and one of my points was, we're all adults here and you got to set your stoner boundaries.
Yes, 100%. And that includes, I think for me, leaving early. Bye. I'm done. I'm stoned. I want to go to bed. I want to, you know, go
Oh my
home.
gosh.
And then some
Nina,
people get
yes.
on me, you know, some people are like, you're leaving. And I'm like, I'm fried and I'm done. Like, it's, I'm gone. See ya, you know?
You know, it's so funny. My point that I wrote down for that is know your limits and don't overstay your welcome. Like, okay, hear this scenario out. Suppose you have a friend come over, you guys smoke a little joint, and to you, that's just like how you unwind. Like, you smoke a joint every night. I smoke a joint every night. No big deal. But there are people that smoke a joint once a year, right? It's like a big deal when they
They're
smoke.
like, it's my time.
So they may come over thinking, oh, I'll just stay the night. You know, I'm going to relax. It's like, so my point is, know kind of what your friend wants and maybe get yourself an Uber. Be responsible to like leave at an appropriate time. Like, after an hour ish, I feel that's my like social limit where I'm like, well, hey, it was dope seeing you, but I'm gonna head on. And I feel like an hour, especially after COVID, like time, like that's a long social, you know, window. So after that, you know, figure out a way to get home, be safe. You know, obviously don't drive if you're not ready, but like, maybe don't stay the night at your friend's houses all the time. That's just that's a me thing.
It's tough too, like, being, you know, everybody comes over to your house or whatever and you're ready for them to go and they're not leaving. It's hard to like break that ice and be like, I gotta work early in the morning, or like, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta think of something. But I started being like, I don't know what you guys are doing. I don't know what you got planned, but you can't stay here. You gotta go. Like, I just started being like, I'm ready for bed and I'm gonna go to bed. So if you want to stay here and sit on the couch, be my guest. If you want to leave, go. But this is my plan and you can fit yourself into it however you feel is fine, you know?
That's the thing I do too. Like, I set those boundaries where it's like, especially friends I'm really good friends with, we see each other often. That's the vibe. I'm like, hey, you know what? I actually got to go to bed, but if you want to finish this movie, totally feel free to chill here or, you know, finish whatever joint, but I got to head to bed. And just like, look out for yourself, you know, because it's like,
it's important.
They're your friends. They understand, you know?
Yeah. And like, if they don't, then they shouldn't be seshing with you. I feel like if people can't respect your boundaries, they can't respect your bedtime, they can't respect, you know, stuff like that, contributing and things like that, then they don't need to be a part of the circle. That's just how I feel, you know?
Yeah, I 1000% hear you.
Yeah.
What's another tip? So we got bring something, contribute, you know, don't get too serious with things, with life. Don't get into an existential crisis, you know.
Keep it light unless you're invited to enter the dark zone, you know?
That's a good way to say it. I like that.
I'm trying to think of another one. I saw something on Instagram that made me laugh. It said like something like, these motherfuckers be out here, not like, people aren't puff passing anymore. It's like puff puff pass. And like, I feel like puff pass is always a good rule. Always, like, if you're like have I been, babysitting this blunt? Somebody will let you know for sure. I'm always the person who will say, like, how much do you get paid to babysit that blunt? Because I want to know. You're working hard.
Right.
Like,
People might not know it, that babysitting it would be like, say Nina and I are in the same physical room and I'm passing this to her, and like, say she's like, hold on, I got to tell you the story, and then just goes off on a big tangent for 45 minutes while this lit joint is in her hands. Like, that's what we mean by babysitting. It's like, remember, this is a lit joint we're trying to enjoy together, so don't babysit or bogart.
Don't babysit. Don't be a bogey Pete. That's what we used to call them. Like, if you were sitting on it being a bogey, it's just not a good look. And especially if it's not yours. If it's yours, go to town. You're allowed to do whatever you want. I feel like if it's your weed, you roll the blunt, whatever. It's your show.
Story. Yeah, exactly.
Tell your story. But if it's not yours, you better puff pass real quick. Like, bye. Like, you don't need to be hanging out, telling stories, going on a date. I don't know, but it just has to stop.
Yeah. That's a good PSA, Nina. That's real good. That's real good. Stop. Don't forget, puff pass is still a rule.
Yeah, still a rule. I feel like, like people, and I was thinking about it too. I was like, a lot of kids, I'm like 26 years old, and I'm like, a lot of kids these days, but like, they're smoking vapes, and like, maybe that's not as much of a thing when you're not like,
that's a good point. Yeah.
Conscious of like something being lit and you're sharing it. Like, whereas like a vape, you're just like puffing it and whatever.
That's a good point.
Maybe that's why. That's what I was thinking about. But
actually, that's a good point for why there'd be like generational differences. Like, so I wrote down puff pass is a big one for me. What else? Oh, this is like kind of going like, if I'm going into someone else's space, I'm trying to be really respectful of kids in their house. Like, not ever, I'm not cool with ever smoking around children. Not okay to me, but other people, like certain households, they set different rules. So I check in on like the kid situation, the pet situation. Like, if your dog's in here, do you want me to not vape, or what are you comfortable with? And also, what was I gonna say? Roommates. Like, suppose like, I don't know, there's a lot of scenarios people have right now with COVID where they're living with random people or their parents,
family.
Like, just being aware of like, do you want me to smoke outside, or are you cool with smoking here? Like, just a quick question to make sure is really nice. Like, at our house, it's basically fair game to smoke whatever you want, but we smoke blunts pretty much outside. I would say, like, that's our one thing, is like, because those are like more tobacco smelly kind of thing. So since we rent our house, we pop outside and smoke those.
Hey, I feel that. I'm like doing deep cleaning in my house, and I'm taking some pictures off the wall, and I'm like, damn, I smoke in here too much. Like, I'm like, there's a little outline. And like, I've been in this apartment for about 5 years now. So I'm like, I guess I've really just been like toking it up in here. Shit, I can't be doing that in my house. But I still will be.
It's amazing.
Will be. But definitely always ask if you're at somebody else's house, if you're not sure of the rules. You can usually tell pretty quick, you can pick what the situation is. But if you're not sure, don't just like whip it out. Never whip it out. Just, like always ask, be consensual, everyone, on all fronts.
That's a good announcement. I guess when I'm talking to you about like my pet peeves, it's more of situations when I'm at like a big party and there's like acquaintances that, I know them and I know their name and we're smoking together. Usually when you have a friend over, there's none of this. Like, you know what to expect from each other. And like, so I guess another really timely one is, now that there's COVID in the mix and that like you can't just pass joints like, the olden days. For me now with COVID is like asking if a friend wants to sesh and then just assuming I'm going to bring my own stuff. Just straight up. Like, or like, this is a perfect example. Like, okay, I'll bring 2 joints. I can have my own. You can have your own.
I was thinking about that. I'm going to go sesh with a friend for the first time.
It's such a big deal, dude.
I'm like,
congratulations. Oh my God.
And I've been thinking, I'm like, so do I roll? Because like her and I, we would just like sit there and like chief joints, like, and we would get Chinese food and like just hang out and like paint and watch movies and like stuff like that. So I'm super excited to do that. And I've been thinking, I was like, okay, well, she has her own pieces. I can bring a piece over, but that's kind of weird. And then I'm like, I guess I'm just gonna roll a bunch of joints because then,
Exactly.
like
Yep.
we'll share, but not, like not we're
Yeah.
not passing it back and forth, but we'll still be smoking together kind of thing. So
Yes. That's where I'm
I'm
at
into
now
that.
in my life, where it's like I'm ready to be in the same space. Like I feel comfortable being in the same room as someone
Yeah.
now that I'm vaccinated, but I obviously am not going to be like sharing a joint with them. So it's kind of
Yes.
different.
Yeah.
But
There
and
are these things I've seen on Instagram that are like it's you roll I'm like trying to show if you're watching YouTube. Oh yeah, we have video again if you want to watch us on YouTube.
nice.
If you have a joint, you have your filter and then you have like your flower. The filter part is there's two pieces.
Here we go.
So
This
one goes
situation.
in the joint. Yeah, one goes in the joint, one stays out. And it magnetically clicks. So every person has their own mouthpiece to the joint. And when you pass it, you just click your little own individual mouthpiece on. It's like kind of like when you go to hookah. Like, have you ever been to hookah? Like that. I feel like that's a Midwestern thing.
Oh yeah.
There's so many hookah lounges where I'm from, but that's like all we used to do in high school. It was so bad. But like it's like those little tips they would give you when you smoke hookah, but it's kind of like your own for a joint. It's interesting. I'm kind of
smart,
excited to check those out. I want to see what they're all about.
Yeah, we should actually, I'll put that in the link because I want people to see that. And there's also, I've seen a lot of different art, like stoner art lately for COVID, but there's like these centerpieces that has an ashtray, and then alongside are like 10 different joint like things, and you can make them different. So that way your friend has like their joint where it's like, oh, at Haley's house, I'm that orange joint holder and I'm going to always be that orange one. And
That's
then,
cute.
and so it's kind of like a way to like, share, but like be considerate and like still have a space that you can like pop over to a friend and like enjoy something with them.
Yeah. I'm interested to see how it kind of plays out. I think a lot of people don't care, honestly.
A lot
like
of people
they're just
don't
kind of like whatever. But I'm still conscious of it. But I was thinking about it too when we were thinking about this episode, like what annoys me. And it's definitely that and especially like in big settings, like you said, like a party or like whatever, is that person who just joins the circle uninvited. You don't know them.
Basically nobody knows them.
Nobody knows them, but they smelled with their little sniffer the sweet smell of the ganj and floated on over and they're just in the circle, and now their lips are basically on your lips smoking all your weed. And it's just like, I feel like if you're not invited, you're not in the circle.
Yeah. I'm with you on that.
Sassy? I don't know.
No, it's not sassy, because like the opposite side of that is like, as the person in the circle, it's just accepted that you open up to people. So it's like, it's a give and take. I feel like it's rude to just straight up show up to someone else's circle. But if you did, people would probably be like, accept you and be like, I guess we're passing this guy now. But just, you should probably know somebody, at least be like, okay, I'm here with with my friend or something. I don't know. It's not my favorite vibe, actually. I don't like
it's happened to me at work parties. Like I will, like I said, I was always the person with the weed, so like I would roll a couple joints and this, like I would prairie dog basically around not the poop version, prairie dog around the bar and like make eye contact with my smoking buddies and be like, it's time to go. It's time to go. It's time to go. And then there would be these few randos that would like catch on to what was like seeing people put their coats on and being like, where are you going?
What are you
it's like, none of your fucking business. Okay. And then they come outside anyway. So then you have to, like, you know what I mean? I feel like you feel obligated at that point,
Yeah. And another point seems so obvious, but something worth mentioning. Make sure that if you are doing something like that, like joining a circle, don't ever let the tip get like spit
juicy
on it. I hate I'm sorry, that's gross, but someone needs to say it. It's like, I hate that feeling of like, who in the hell just had this in
it literally like makes me gag. I hate it. Do not get juicy with it.
I'm just like, you can have that. You can finish that on my own.
I'm done. Don't.
And same way with lipstick, to be fair. Anytime I have lipstick on, it's like, all I'm ready for this joint. Cause no boys, especially boys, are grossed out by that big time. So it's just like,
I am too. Like, whose grandma lit the joint? Like, where'd they come from?
I don't need your lipstick or your spit or any of that on you. So
yeah. I feel that. I was trying to think of other stuff that felt like rules or just like stuff that I have like when I do smoke with other people. And I was thinking of in regards to greens, is that what you call like a fresh packed bowl or like a fresh rolled joint or okay, so
talk about that. I want to know what you're gonna say.
So greens is when you like freshly pack the joint or freshly pack the bowl, freshly roll the joint, freshly roll a blunt, so everything's green, right? You're not burning it up. So for me, it's always been for bowls, if you packed it, you get greens. For joints and blunts, if you rolled it, you get greens. If it's yours and somebody else rolled it, they get greens. That's how it is. It's just how it happens. They rolled it, they did the work, they get that first sweet hit. Like, that has always been the rule, that's how you feel?
That's for me too. And at first I think it could help for the new people, like smoking the green part is so tasty. It is the best part. It is like the best, like that's why we're talking about
treat.
It's the treat. It's so we're talking about preserving it. Like if you have a pipe and it's full of greens, we don't smoke the whole thing so that it's brown. Smoke like a part of it, corner the bowl so that you're
corner the bowl.
Bit. And
I corner the bowl when I smoke with myself. I'll show you guys on YouTube.
Me too. So, like, I do too. To like,
so like, do not roasty toasty it. Don't get a big flame and get all crazy and whatever. Just get a little corner. Just get a little corner. And like whoever packed this bowl first, they get the first hit. Like that's it.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, we're totally on the same page with that because it's not a huge deal. Like right now, I'm at the end of my joint. I mean, it's still tasty, but it's not the same as the very first part of it. Like so it's like being respectful to like try to let everyone get some of that good junk before it gets brown.
I feel like that's like a unheard of, and because I've definitely like been in a circle. I've been like thinking back to my birthday, whatever, 2 years ago now, and I like get the bowl back and I'm like, excuse me,
it's my birthday.
Who disrespects me like this in my house? Like, who does this? And just some people just don't know. They're out there like, let's go, like using the whole lighter on the whole wall. It's like, no, you just got to do a little section. Pick your section and go right there,
That's kind of like unsaid. I've looked on the internet and there's not a whole lot of like rules where people have like typed this out. So it's like one of those things you have to have someone like verbally tell you. So it's kind of funny. But what else was I going to say on that note? Don't smoke the whole joint. Don't smoke the whole bowl. There's something else to that though. I can't remember. It's not important. I know what I was gonna say. Okay, side note here. Whenever I show up to a friend's house or whatever, I'm also thinking ahead, like, hey, after I smoke, I'm gonna get hungry and or thirsty. So that's what I was gonna say is like be aware to like not like eat everything in your friend's house randomly. Like try to or I try to bring like snacks or like food because it's like who doesn't want that? Like everyone's gonna want that. So that's like another nice thing. Be like, hey, at least I showed up with all these like little treats for ourselves.
That was definitely, like I said, the people who would mooch off me in college, they also mooch the food off of me. So it would be like they smoked all my weed, they ate all my food, and now they're gone. So it's like, well, shit, you could have at least brought your own drink so you're not drinking on my pop, like something. So I think that's a good little tidbit. Like you said, like I feel like I always roll up with at least my own drink,
Yes, exactly. Like I got everything that I need. That is one thing, like as a stoner, I can go literally anywhere and have a good time, like anywhere. I can make a good time for myself. Like I could go literally meet a friend at a cemetery and have a fine evening. Like just smoke a joint together. Like a little walk. So that is one thing, like I'm very self-sufficient in that way. I don't need my friends to like entertain or do certain things for me. I just show up with everything I basically need to chill.
For sure. I'm trying to think.
Any last ones you're thinking?
Yes, this was one. This is like a new age one, like a digital one, I guess.
Ooh, tell me.
That I personally have been experiencing a lot. on Instagram. If you are looking for weed, if you are looking to buy weed, do not randomly message people who you think have weed. That is the weirdest thing I've ever, that's literally like walking around in a park going, weed, 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 you know,
it's
like
weird.
It's weird. You're weird. Don't do that. If you need to connect, find someone that you trust who can hook you up, because that's the only way that the connect is going to respond to you. The connect doesn't know you. You don't have a connection to them. So they do not want to be connected to you. You know, like you have to have that link. There's somebody in between always. And don't hit up random people. Don't message random accounts. It's weird. It's a bad look. Whenever somebody does it to me, I call them a cop.
I noticed that you did that. You just put the cop emoji. I do this.
Yeah, like you're a fucking cop, dude.
That's the other thing is, why would I, even if I had huge amounts of weed, which is so not the case, like usually I have like one thing at a time and then cycle it out. But even if I did have a lot, it's like, why would I randomly want to give that to you when I don't know you? And two, why would I talk about it on Instagram where you can take a screenshot? That's huge for me. Is like, I'm always aware that people could use stuff against me. So like, I will never be like, you know what? Yes. How about I, like, I wouldn't even do that. So yeah. And if someone does respond to you on Instagram, like I've had people try to sell me like magic mushrooms or random things on Instagram. It's like,
they're probably a cop.
They're probably a cop.
That's
or
a cop.
bot, like a totally random bot that's trying to get your email address. So like it sucks to not have weed, but maybe go get some of these CBD joints. They're available in all 50 states, folks.
Do literally anything else. Literally anything else that's not messaging random people on Instagram asking for weed, because it is just like and don't, like, if you don't know someone that well, it's not great. And it's not really common courtesy to ask them to hook you up. Like, you should kind of have a rapport with this person before they're going to go out on a limb and refer you to someone that they know, you know? So like, just be considerate of who you're asking, why you're asking, how well you know this person that you're asking, and how well they know you. It's kind of like, you know, I wouldn't ask like, I don't know, I wouldn't like ask a random person on the street for a referral to a doctor.
I was gonna say, it's kind of like, I don't know, this is a little extreme example, but it's kind of like when you help a friend get a job. It's like, you better not mess this up for me. And like connecting someone to your weed dealer is like that. It's like it's like a trust thing. So it's like, I don't
fuck up.
Yeah.
Come with cash. Don't, like, you know what I mean? Weird. Like, I had to think of that. Yeah. And when like even some of my friends, I'm like, you know, this guy is like real serious, and like, you can't, like, you better answer when he texts you or else your order's gone. Like, that's just how it is, you know? Like, and there's some people who I'll be like, you don't get the privilege of like being connected because I can't trust you, or you can't be trusted, you know? Like, just don't message random people on Instagram for weed. Just don't do it. It's weird. It's very strange.
Especially like both of our handles, we both have cannabis in our name. So like when people are typing it in, it often will just come up and they think, oh, I'll just ask her. And it's like, first of all, this is like our jobs. Like you and I both, this is like really important to us. Like we don't just willy-nilly, we wouldn't want to put anything in jeopardy to like get in trouble. So
yeah. I had like started asking people, I was like, what about my page makes you think that I sell? Like, I was like, I don't have any pictures in the dark of giant bags of weed. I don't have, you know, weird things in cups on like shady looking tables. Like, nothing about, like, everything has great lighting. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not using the flashlight from my phone to take a picture of the crystally nug. Like, friends, okay? Just be like, use your brain, use your head, you know? It's hard. It's tough.
It's tough. Yeah.
But,
you know, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, it's an extra layer of funny when there's a dispensary. Like, I understand it when, like 10 years ago or whatever, like you had to have a friend that knew a friend to get weed. But it's like in Illinois, especially, just go to the store yourself. Like we still have, people that are like obsessed about like asking us for stuff. And it's like, why would I help you when you could go to the same store I'm going to buy it? Just go to the store.
And it's like, it's definitely, I feel like, a privilege to have the option to buy, both
For
on
sure.
the gray market and on the legal market. You know what I mean? I recognize that, but, and like some people just don't have those connections, and that's okay. Like, that's okay. That's 100% okay. You don't have to be big ballin'. You don't have to be, know everybody and have all the plugs and whatever. And like, there are the issues with big cannabis that we've talked about on here, but find those brands that you like, find the dispensaries that you support, like independently owned ones, and ones that you enjoy the people and they have good recommendations, and focus on that. Don't, like, if your time will come, you'll find the people that have the connections, and you'll get in with that. It comes with time. It comes with growing. Like, that's, some people just
that's a
want,
good point.
It's the instant gratification. Like, they want it now, they need it now. So if that's what you need, then go to the dispensary, because you could have it now.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And same thing goes with like bombing someone's phone. It's just like, hey, you could also put what I call put a feeler out, which is what I used to call it, like back, many years ago, which is I'm going to ask 5 of my friends that I'm looking for weed soon. And if they run across any that they feel like I would like, here's some, I have money for you, that's like putting a feeler out. Is like, hey, you don't have to, but if it helps you to get an extra bag and get a little extra for yourself or whatever, I'll throw you some extra money. Like, that's putting a feeler out, is just seeing who has extra for you and not demanding it.
Yes. Never demand, always ask, be polite, like just general, things of life people tend to forget when it comes to smoking weed and buying cannabis and all that jazz. So it's just common, Midwestern manners, folks. Like,
hospitality.
It's not that tough. Like, please and thank you goes a long way. I always, like, if I can, try to tip, everyone. Try to tip your bud tenders. If you have a delivery guy, tip them, bring them snacks, do what you can, that always goes a long way. The niceness goes a long way, especially people will hook you up. If you hook them up, they hook you up. If you hook them up in kindness, they will hook you up. Like, it always just kind of ends up reciprocating, if the relationship is good,
Yeah,
I agree.
I don't know how you feel about this, Nina, but I feel like it'd be fun to open up our Instagram DMs and just like anyone that wants to be like, is this okay? We would love to be like your Dear Abby situation or whatever that etiquette columnist is, where it's like, is this okay? Or my friend does this, or I do this. Like, just ask us. I mean, I bet we'd probably run into it. So hit us up in our DM.
100%. And like, we're not the experts, but we'll give you our best opinion in situations that we've run into and how we've handled things. And, always have yourself, in mind. You have to be kind to yourself first. So if you're nervous about that stuff, like Haley said, we're always here to chat
There's
about.
no dumb question, really. Like, when you start, it's like everybody has these questions. You don't just wake up knowing all these etiquette things, and it's just like,
and it can be intimidating.
We're here. We're not intimidating. Hit us up with your questions.
Just don't message me like someone did a couple weeks ago that said, send me some of that Cali weed, girl. I was like, wish I had some, because I ain't in Cali, baby. Like, what? What if I had some?
Where'd you get that from?
I was like, where'd you? I live in Chicago, but all right. Sister,
that's,
like, all right.
That's cute. I like that.
But like Haley said, we're always here. We're always ready to chat. And I feel like we got to toast it out now.
Yeah, we got to toast it out. Actually, I'm going to toast with a drink situation.
It's so fancy. So
it
fancy.
Is a 2 milligram soda. So just 2 milligrams THC can drink.
Bupkis for us.
Yeah. A little chugger.
It's a cute, it's nicely designed, which I can see the appeal of, like, it's like drinking a nice little craft beer or something, but it is
so tiny. Can you see how tiny it is? It's like in the video, like, if you watch our YouTube, it's just like a little guy, but it's delish. So
it's cute. Yes. Well, cheers.
Your bong is cool.
Yes. I will tell you guys about that after I take this sweet little hit.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, something new from us is we are working with Boom Head Shop, which is where I got this lovely piece. Boom Head Shop is a small business. They're a head shop. They're kind of a really awesome company that I've been working with for a long time, and wanted to bring them over to our Midwest Sesh friends. We have a coupon code, which you can find in the link description for this episode. It's in our bio too on Instagram. I am totally blanking on the code. Is it just Midwest Sesh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. No,
Okay, so
yeah, it'll be there too. But yeah, that's it.
yes. I'm like, what is the code? It's the name of our show. So yeah, if you go to boomheadshop.com, they have everything, rolling papers, pieces, everything's really affordable. Everything comes really fast. And there's some really, really great people. So if you support them, you support us, and we support everyone. So
feel good.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome. So thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah. Happy etiquette session. We
yes.
wish you good luck.
Yes. Stay high and stay happy, folks.
See ya.
Bye.